What's up? In this video, it's going to be a little longer and a bit technical. If you're okay with how the theme is as is, or you're down with most of it, 90% of it, and you're happy with it, this video might not be as much for you. But if you want to change quite a bit in this child theme, this video is definitely for you, as I'm going to go through this entire CSS file and explain what everything does. You're also about 730 lines here. If you're also curious about CSS, this could be a good video for you, but I'm basically just going to go through and talk about the CSS I added to make Empire stand out and be more unique. Now, first I'll say you should have this as part of the theme download. It'll be in the child theme folder next to the functions.php file. There'll be a style.css, and that's this file here. You do not want to make changes to this file because when we release an update to Empire, this file is going to be, there's a good chance it's going to be overwritten. And if you have made changes in here, those will get overwritten when you update the theme from inside WordPress. So what I suggest is having all your overrides for CSS go here, which means you do a lot of copying from here and then pasting in here. And if I change this, to 5 pixels, it's going to honor this over this here. So this will override this. And so I recommend you putting your changes in here. And then what I do is I actually, along the way, when I'm doing sites, I copy the CSS in here and put it in its own CSS file on my local machine. That way I always have a backup in case something goes wrong with the code that you save here. So always have a backup of this code in here that you save. All right, with that, let's get to it and start going through this CSS file here. I'm going to open this up a little bit. Okay, so just some general stuff here, general margin for block quote and padding left. If you're happy with that's this right here. If you're happy with how this looks, then you're just great, leave it there. Otherwise, that's all good. Inline button files or styles are right here. We went over this in a tutorial video. This right here, this 25 pixels here, that's this guy. And then when it eventually stacks, there's 25 pixels there on the bottom. That's that right there. Some of this I'll just skim over. It's not important. This column switch, see if I'm using that anywhere on this here. Basically, the column switch, what it allows you to do, this is a good example. I'm using it right here. So on this section here, it's text on the left, image on the right. And you'll see in the row, I've given the class column switch to this row. And so what that's going to do is, normally when these get stacked for mobile and tablet, normally this column would go underneath this one, but the exact opposite is going to happen. And so I give the row this class of column switch to make it reverse on tablet and mobile here. This next group of code has to do with the Ken Burns effect. There are 2 different ones. There's a header linear and there's a section linear. So if you want to apply the Ken Burns effect to a section, use this class on the section and make sure your background, let's just do it. We might as well just do it. Let me go to pages. And let's just do it to an interior. But you see how this image is growing toward you? It has the class, that section has the class Empire Ken Burns header linear, and you have to have a parallax background for this to work. So here we go. Let's say we want to do that with this one right here. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to add a class. This is a section, so I'm going to use the section one. It's not a header. And then you can see now it's going to be growing towards you. And I believe we lost the overlay. Oh no, it's still there. That's cool. So now if I save this, it's actually a cool effect. I really like this. And let's just go ahead and preview this page in a tab. When they scroll down, that's going to be growing towards them. Which that's pretty sweet. I'm going to leave that. I like that. Okay, so, and then this code underneath this has to do with all of that. There's another option here, an ease in option. You can try that if you'd like. Let's try it on the section here. I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference, but let's go ahead and try it. So this one's doing that one did the linear. Let's try the ease in now. Yeah, I think it starts off the whole time it's just the same slow speed. Whereas the linear, I think, or no, the ease in, I'm sorry, starts slow and then gets faster. Whereas the linear is just the same speed the whole time. Okay, moving, so that's all that right there. I wouldn't worry much about that. There's a whole video on these overlays, but basically you can apply, if you have a parallax background, we're doing it right here with the medium. You'll see that there's a, we have a light one. Here's no overlay at all. Medium. There's a dark, a heavy, one called Andre. That's just pretty much all the way there. And then I have a purple one that we use. And then in the tutorial video on overlays, I show you how you can make your own colored ones. So these are all here, and it has to be a parallax background, or it can be a video background here. Great. All right. So let me go ahead and save this, and then just exit out of this, and we'll keep moving. All right, all this next part is all having to do with the navigation. So this first part has to do with the drop downs. We'll go ahead and pull this down. So there's a subtle box shadow here around the edge. That's controlled right here. So if you want to change that, you would copy this, put it in your theme options area here, and change as you'd like. Also changing the line height for the links here. I don't think I have any that go to 2 lines here, but sometimes when they go to 2 lines, they have just as much spacing as they do here, and so it's kind of confusing. Like, is that just a continuation or is that a new line? Where, well, here we go. I'll just do this. I'll just add a, we'll say video header looks like this. Okay, so yeah, there you go. That's all. You can still tell that this is all together. Whereas if I didn't have that, it was like super spread out and kind of confusing. And then there's just some more padding I'm adding to the drop-down links to give them more space in between, to which I prefer. And actually, that was a little much since I redid the line height. Since I redid the line height, I had to add. Yeah, here we go. That's the kind of spacing you're going to have. And then all of this right here has to do, all of this whole section right here, highlight menu item, has to do with this guy right here. And in the tutorial on that, there's a separate video, but basically you just go to the menus page here, and you go down to that Buy Now, and you can remove this highlight class, and it'll just turn it into a regular link like these other ones. And if you don't see this open link in new tab or CSS class option. Just scroll up here and you have to turn them on, link target and CSS class. Then you'll see those. So all this code right here is basically making adjustments for making this a button, making some adjustments here, moving it where it needs to be. Here's the padding of the actual button, all the space around it is this here. I'm also setting the default background color is light pink and the color to the dark slate there. And then setting the font weight as well. And then on hover, we're changing the background to this purple and the text to white. So all that you would change with CSS. So you have to override all that in here. And there's a tutorial video on how to do that. And then just making some adjustments for tablet here for the highlight button as well. So you'd have to change these as well. If you update the colors, you got to change them here for desktop and then again here for mobile. Because what I'm doing on mobile is I decided to give that highlight button to highlight it in here too. Normally it's just a regular like these, but I wanted to highlight it. And then here's a fixed menu header. Sub-navigation color right here is the slate because it was turning it white, so I had to turn it to the slate. So if you want to change the fixed header right now, it's fixed because it's scrolled. If you want to change the color of these links, you need to adjust that. And then mobile menu stuff. So I'm changing the actual hamburger menu here to white. That's that being there. So you want that to be like red. This is what you would change. And then the menu is going to have this right here actually has, you might be able to see it better here. Yeah, you can see a drop shadow right there. That's this right here. Also setting background color to white. That didn't happen. So I don't know what that's about. And then the links here for the mobile menu. Some of this is not happening. Yeah, let me just get rid of a couple of these. I might not need these. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, so I'll get rid of those. But this is also doing getting rid of the border that's usually in between these, centering them, uppercasing them, giving them some letter space, font weight, font size. So all of this have to be controlled by CSS. Yeah, we'll just get rid of these two things. Don't need those. And then I'm doing, if it has children, the font's a little smaller, and the font weight's a little smaller. So there's that as well. And then just some other adjustment. Yeah, here's a smaller font size, less padding. If it's a child of a drop down, that way it looks like it's children. It looks smaller. So there's making some adjustments for that. And then we have this collapse mobile menu feature here. All of this right here, which this is just this feature right here. That's what makes this little icon possible. And then also in the theme options under integration, there's this guy right here, which is all mobile menu stuff right here. This very top thing, that's the line icons. That's pulling in the line icons we're using. But the rest of this is the JavaScript needed to make this happen right here. Okay, that's all of that. So now we can get going to the hero section here. So let me pull this back open. Let me refresh that. So Earlier I showed how you can probably see that some default pages, like, let me just go to the shop here, or actually, let me just go to like the account page here, my account. You'll see that the my account page has this dark bar automatically. This dark bar is set in the theme customizer, but then you notice, and it's here on this page as well actually. This would actually be a great example, but it's not on this page. So let's open up these pages and see why. So interior, I'm going to just edit it normally. Oh, I didn't want to do that right there. Let me go back. I want to do that in a new page. Here we go. And then the Empire Shop, I'm going to edit that in a new page as well. Okay, so here we have the interior edit page, interior page. There's no navigation bar until I scroll, no background. And then the Empire Shop, there's a background the whole time. The only difference is you'll see here we have this background color transparent, and then there's a background here but it's invisible. Or there's a background here that's pulling in like a subtle glow, dark glow to make the text readable. You'll see what I mean here in a second. And then once the logo is, or once the page is fixed, it's going to bring in this guy at 90%, the background color at 90%. So you see this body.empire hero. So if it has this, the page body has this empire hero class, it's going to hide the background color navigation, the main color here, and then it's going to give this glow to help read the menu items. And then once, if it has the Empire Hero, the page body has that class, when it's scrolled, it's going to bring in the background at 90% here and take away the linear background. This one, the shop though, has it the whole time. Why? So we had this plugin that we installed, a free plugin called Body Classes, I believe, or custom body class. And what it does is, if you do edit with Divi, you won't see this option. I don't believe. Let me check to make sure. I'm curious. But on the regular edit page, down here, there's this page classes option. And you see I have Empire Hero here for interior. But for Empire Shop, it's empty. So if I add it to Empire Shop, it's going to get rid of this right here. Let's try it. So Empire Hero, update. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to see if we can get to that. Yeah, you can't get to it in the Visual Builder, I don't think. Page settings. Yeah, no. Okay. So you have to do it on the regular edit page. You have to do it on the regular edit page by hitting this edit or just hitting on the title. All right, this is saved now, so let's refresh here. So now that this page has the body of Empire Hero, that is gone, and you see there's this faint, and I'll try to show it here. Here we go. Body.empire hero, get rid of that background color. And get rid of this background color. And then add in this gradient. And you can kind of see that just is super subtle. But if you had a super light colored background, it helps make this text readable. And so that's what this is right here, and that's what this Empire Hero does. I'm going to leave it on for the shop here for this example. The My Account page, I'm going to leave it off because I don't have an image up here, and so I need this guy to make these readable. Okay, the split header page, that's just to help get the space out of the top so that the split header page can work well. And then we'll move on here and we'll go to the main home page here. We'll start going through. We're about halfway through here, so moving along. Yeah, it just helps so that this goes all the way to the top. That's what that code does there. Okay, so the video feature, Empire Video Overlay, we go over this in another video, but basically this guy right here has a gray overlay on top of that background image to make this text and icon more readable, and that's this right here, that's that color. And then when you hover over the section, or I'm sorry, this is this here, the video module. So the video module by default doesn't have, yeah, I'll show you here. And I showed this in the other tutorial, but by default it doesn't have this. It's set to 0. Or by default it's not 33%. It's set to 0. But I think that's just a little light and I want to see this better, so I always have it about 33%. And then when you hover, I'm turning it to this purple color at 90%. So you can change that to be whatever color you want. And then what these two lines are doing is this first line here, this content one, is getting, let me go ahead and undo this. Normally it would have the ET Elegant Themes Divi's default play icon, which I really don't like. So this line hides it, and then this other line gives us a background image for this icon. And so you can swap that image to something else, and you can make sizing adjustments and positioning if you add something else like a play video. If you happen to be a super flyer, you get access to the CSS for Divi for free as part of your monthly membership. Otherwise, you can check out this course for more advanced CSS stuff. But the sample project here, gets rid of the default icon for play video, or for the video module, and replaces it with the same icon with play video. So that's one image. If we actually view this project on CodePen, you'll see that the background image I'm using is this guy right here. Actually, here's a demo, and I'll pull up that background image. That's the whole image right there. And then the demo is going to be on this page. So this is getting rid of the icon that's normally there. This is putting in the new one and sizing it, and then this is making it smaller on mobile device, tablet and mobile devices here. Or I'll just do mobile actually. 768 is good actually. We'll have it be small. Yeah, here's that custom one. I just think it looks a little nicer than what their default is. And so here, when I go down to mobile, it makes them smaller down there too, which is nice. I mean this video is the same as this here, as far as it's going to take these settings. Then we come to the video section, which is this guy right here. So by default, we're using the before pseudo element area, and we're giving it the same gray 33%. And you see that above the image here, the background image, because this is a parallax, and using the same technique as we do with those overlays, and that's in a video. And then on hover, we're hovering it to this purple color, and that's where that purple right there is coming from. So you can change this if you like, or override it, I mean, in your theme options CSS area here. All right, moving right along. Testimonials. That's just these guys right here. This is just styling the H4 for the name right here. Because in the testimonials module, it doesn't let you style like an H4 that you put inside of the testimonial. We're not using the title at all, just the same area. Let me open that up, I can show you. While that's opening up, so I'll show you what's up with that. Okay, yeah. And then it goes to the hover cards, which I'm not going to cover right here because there's a whole entire video on these hover cards and how you can make a new one, how you can add a module. There's 3 modules in here right now. There's 2 text modules and a button. In the tutorial video, I show you how to add another module and how to time it out so the animations come in after each other. There's a whole video on that, but that's all this code right here, 512 all the way up to $4.49. That's all has to do with that feature. All right, so now that I got this open, let's go check out the testimonials. Okay, here we go. I'll just do this one right here. So if I go into this, you'll see that when I'm not using the title at all. I don't like the title being above here. If I did, I'd just pull out like a 2 words or something like that, like bold and beautiful or something like that. But I chose not to use the title, just the text, and then I made the person's name an H4 down here, but there's no way to style. This H4 actually doesn't really do anything. You can see that it's not really doing anything at all. And so you have to do that through this styling right here. All right, so the hover cards we talked about, that's all that right there. And what's nice about these hover cards is on tablet and mobile, you really don't have a hover. So on tablet and mobile, they just show. And it looks like I need to make some spacing adjustments there, but that's fine. All right, next we got 3 CTAs, and there's a video on this as well. So I'll just quickly go over these. Same technique as before. We're getting this gray overlay on these background images. They're parallax, so we have to do it through code. Or there's a plugin that I talk about that we offer that can do this for you, but it's nice that it's already set up. Here's the gray color that you could change if you want. And by the way, this app I'm using right here is free. It's called Brackets, and it's a free code editor you can download. One of the features I love about it is whenever you hover over a color, you can just quick edit right there and then X out when you're done editing. It'll live, like here, check this out. It'll change it for you. And so now it's this aqua color. We're going to do that. So on hover, these are going to change that purple color right there at 80%. You can see that, and you can change that all right here. The other nice thing about these is that these, since this is just one text module here, I can use Flexbox to center it. I believe that's what I used. Yeah, Flex. So basically, if this got longer and dropped to 2 lines, normally, let me see what I did here. Column, okay. Here we go. My bad. All right. So normally, if you went in here and changed this to say by Empire today, right now, you see that it made it 2 lines, but now it's not. These aren't centered anymore because this guy this is how it normally works. But if I turn back on this, now these guys are all still vertically centered. So that's what is happening here, and then here's the gray color and the hover purple color you can change. Okay, moving on, we have the pricing tables, which I believe are on the services page. And I'll actually open this too so you can see. Or I'll open up the dark one because the dark one's pretty sweet. So here's the services down here on the light page, and then we'll show the dark page too. Yeah, here we go. Let me see here. Pricing blurb H4. I don't know why. I believe I had that when I was trying to use the pricing module for this, but then I just decided to use individual text modules. I see. Okay. So yeah, so these are all text modules up here, just regular text modules. Down here, regular text module, divider, but these guys are blurbs, and they have the check mark over here, and to change the color of the check mark, you just go right here. But in order to make them line up next to each other correctly, I had to add pricing blurb class to each of these, and then adjust their heading 4, which that's what these are, to be in the right position to line them up. So that's all that is right there. And I'll just save and exit this. But yeah, I really like how these turned out. Really love how these guys turned out. So cool. Great. And then the blog grid, it's back on the home page here. The blog grid, I just took away. Normally the blog each blog post is like a card, and they have a border around them, which I took away inside the blog module. And so when you do that, when you take away the border in the blog module, I will turn these off really quick. So when you take away the stroke, the border in the blog module, what you're left with is, I don't know why it's being so slow. Yeah, you see there, you're left with the space because there used to be a border around it, and so now you have this funky space right here. So this just fixes it, takes away the padding from here, and then there's excess margin it takes away. So it makes it all nice and flush. You'll see here when it reloads, it'll be nice and flush, which I just prefer a simple blog like this, just super simple, not crazy. Yeah, I think this looks really nice. So, and I think there could be some work done here to get this maybe a little closer. Like if this was me, I would probably take this heading 2, and I would get rid of some of the padding bottom 10. I'd probably just make that 0, and I think that looks a little better. Actually, I'm just going to do that real quick. So I'm going to grab all this right here, and then it's a h2 dot entry dash title padding bottom 0. We'll see if that sticks here when I resize it. I think that looks better. It's closer, looks better. And then let me go ahead and open up a couple of these blog posts. Yeah, that looks better. Cool. And then as far as the actual blog post, we have just some spacing fixes here. And then this is happening to the reply link, the comment reply links. I did some work here. So if you see down here, I made them smaller. They were really big. And the font size right there and the padding around it. So if you want to change those, you do that there. And then this float left is only on mobile. So before, this guy was hanging out over here, and I think it should be hanging out to the left here instead of the right. Yeah, before it was hanging out like over there, and I want it to be over here. Oh, that's interesting. You could make the width probably 100%, and then maybe text align center. That could be interesting. That's kind of cool actually for mobile. But anyway, there's a couple things you could do there. I think that's fine though, how it is. Okay, so that takes care of all that. We're getting close to the end here. The sidebar, so let me just go to the default shop here so we can check out the sidebar. Here it is. Looks like I'm just doing adding or uppercasing the H4 title here, setting the letter spacing, font size, and font weight and padding for that. So if you want to adjust that at all, you would copy this here. The sidebar link right here is purple, and then on hover it's this darker color. You change those right here, or copy these and change those to whatever your brand color is. That's pretty much the sidebar. The store, the category highlights are these guys right here. There's an entire video on these, but basically same, you've seen this before, using the pseudo element area to have a color overlay. It's turned all the way down to 0, and it's turned up to 33% on hover. So when I hover, it becomes that darker gray, or that gray comes in. That's right there. Yep, and then Mosaic store text right here, just doing some adjustments there. And then this Empire product testimonial width 105 on the blurb image, that's these guys. That's the width of this image here is 105 right here. You can see on mobile we're going down to 55. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's getting smaller, 55. That's where you could change that if you would like. And then as far as the, these are blurbs here. And so we're just doing some adjusting here. The H5, this right here, font size, uppercase here, giving some margin top so it has some space. And then just this is just an adjustment for tablet. No big deal. WooCommerce. All right, so WooCommerce, first thing is this guy right here, display none cart info. If you change this to, or you'd copy it and change it to inherit in your theme options, what that's going to do is it's going to bring back the classic Divi WooCommerce cart in the menu in the last spot here. You'll see it'll come in. I'm not a big fan of it. I like this other cart that we did better, but you see it there. So you can bring that back in by copying this and changing the none to inherit. And then this right here is in case you do turn it on, it's just adjusting it to line up. So if you need to adjust those, you can. And then this guy, let me find my store. Here we go. Normally the on sale has curved. I got rid of it. Just made them sharp. So you can get rid of that, or you could set a new border radius if you'd like in your theme options. Overlay. Oh, I think I'm adjusting the strength of this, I believe, when that comes in. And then WooCommerce page H1, I'm just making it uppercase. So let's take a look at a default. Here's a default store item. I'm just making the H1, this guy, uppercase right here, and setting the font weight and letter spacing. So you can change all that. Actually, I think I want 1 as letter spacing. And then the breadcrumb, making that uppercase and giving it letter spacing. That's this right here. And then this is all the on sale deals. Normally it's away from the corner a bit. Like let's see if I can do some of this here. So normally, yeah, here we go. Normally it's like that, but I wanted it in the very corner, and then giving it a different background color than the regular orange-red there, and then just doing some font adjustments with all this right here. That's all done right here. WooCommerce loop product link H2. Transform uppercase. Oh, I think that might be this guy. I thought that was something else. No, that's H1. H2, where are you at? I don't know where that is, but we're just giving it. Is this an H2? Let's see. Oh, it's probably that. No, it's not that. I don't exactly know where that is. I think it might be here, I thought. Huh. Okay. Well, that's doing something, so you might be able to find what's up with that. H2. And then we have the price. Setting a font here, font size, whatnot. And then the cart sidebar, we're just giving it some margin at the top. Let me go to the WooCommerce cart versus the Fly cart. Yeah, just giving, oh, this was way up here for whatever reason. I don't know why. Like, check this out. Sidebar, where here you are. So I'm giving it body WooCommerce cart sidebar, body WooCommerce cart sidebar. Margin top 40. Huh. Well, it was. Oh, it's on. Oh yeah, it's on a tablet here. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna see it here. Yeah, before it was like that up there, and I thought it should be down here, but so that's where I changed that. Sorry about that. That took a little long to figure out what I did. And then almost at the end, here's the WPC fly cart. This purple background here. Normally, the default, if I take this off, normally it's red. I don't like that red color, so I put this rule in to make it the purple color that we're using. So that's right. That's right here if you want to change that. And then lastly, we have some footer stuff here. So basically, I'm not using the backgrounds of this social media follow. And so because of that, I'm moving the whole social footer, this guy, I'm moving the whole thing over minus 22 pixels to the left. Otherwise, it would be like this because it thinks you're going to use the background color of these. So the background actually probably comes out to here, but we're not using that. So if you change the size of these, you'll probably have to change this number a bit. You have to change this guy a little bit. And then it looks like on tablet, we're making some adjustments. This is just general WordPress though. Adding some padding on these columns. Like check this out. If I go in here, get up to the column level. Yeah, you can see how close it gets there. And it's like, no, we want some spacing. So that's why that is there right there. Just some other adjustments. And then for the for mobile, we made the icons smaller. And so we had to adjust that -22 to -16. And that is it. Whew, what a video. If you made it through this video, congrats. But that is how you pretty much see all the CSS that made Empire. And now you can adjust it as you wish to make it even more unique in the sea of Divi websites. Thanks again for purchasing Empire. I truly appreciate it. Check out becoming a Superflyer, a member, $29 a month, $19 a month if you pay yearly, and get Empire as part of that, all of our other products and plugins as part of that. All right, thanks again. Stay fly. Cheers.